Hey Cherries, it's Jessica here, and today's video I am showing a bunch of fun techniques that I am putting in this 6x8 snap flipbook. Everything that I'm working with today is included in the summer cherry box. So all of the summer snapshots collection from Simple Stories, there's some cardstock paper, some 6x8 paper pad, we have stickers and embellishments. So all of that is in the cherry box. There is also some fun mixed media in the box, and I'll be using that as well as some tags and sequins and beads. So it's very full, and I wanted to show, especially using the 6x8 flipbook. I have made quite a few of these and I really enjoy them. They're an album that I can have a lot of fun with because you can put a bunch of pockets and other interactive pages, which I will show you in this video how I'm doing. And then you can also personalize it. Like, I love mixed media, so of course I'm adding mixed media. In this box, there's also some Dina Wakley gloss, so that is what I'm using right now. I'm making some mixed media backgrounds, and I just wanted to have them made so that once I get going with the collection and adding them all into the album, I will have these pages done. This technique worked really great, and I think it looks like tie-dye, which definitely goes with the summer theme. So this cherry box includes the raspberry color, but I think they're a lot of fun when you start to mix the colors together and see how they play with each other. So I would recommend picking up some other colors as well. Also, this stencil is included, and you can do this technique where you lay down the stencil on your mat filled with gloss and stamp it down. I'm using paper towel to just make sure it's fully stamped down, and then you can repeat this. I think this is a super cool technique. It's super mixed media-y, and it's a different way to use a stencil. Usually, like for example with this stencil, you would only see the camera design in it, but using this technique you get the reverse of that, so it's super cool. I ended up making 4 12x12 backgrounds, one with the stencil, one with just the raspberry, one with this yellowish color, and then another with a blue gloss color. And I like mixing it up and not just using all of the patterned paper, because I think too much patterned paper in an album just gets too busy and you need some more solids to break it up. And I'm kind of considering these a version of a solid. And I mean, look at this page. Do you see the tie-dye effect that I was talking about? I think it's so cool. I always start with my cover, and I think that's a great tip because you're gonna want to use your favorite products on the cover. If you just start going, you're gonna end up using the favorite products first, and then your cover might not be everything that you would want it to be. So I always start with the cover and add as many embellishments as I want. I tend to go heavy on embellishing, especially in a mini album like this. I think it's just so much fun. It's my favorite part, is adding all of the embellishments. All of these flowers were just from my stash. I have a whole box of random flowers, so I pulled out some that I thought would match and stuck those on. There was this page in the 6x8 paper pad, and I thought it would be fun if I had a photo popping out of the banner. So I'm just cutting away so I can have the photo there. And then I thought that it needed a bit of a photo mat because it just blended in too much. So that's why I'm adding this frame. And also, I think the more layers you add and the more dimension, the more interesting your pages get. So I usually try to add some photo crops. I didn't actually print out all of the photos for this album yet. I think it's quicker if I don't, and then I'll worry about it later. But in some ways, it is easier if you have the photos all ready to go. So, however, you want to get your album done. This next page, I wanted to use these 2x2 squares and create little flip ups. So I did a score line at the top of each one, a 1/4 inch in, and then I'm rounding all of the corners so it makes it a little bit more obvious that they can flip up. And then I'm just gluing down that 1/4 inch strip. Under these, I could add some ephemera or some photos. I will likely do a mix of each. And when I'm making these albums, I like some of the pages not to be in page protectors. If the whole album is in page protectors, for me, I think it's just too much of the plastic look. So I like to also create my own pages. I use one of the page protectors as a template, and then I'll cut out my design, punch my holes, and so when I do a page like that, that's where like these flips that wouldn't work if I had put them in a page protector would work. Pages like this are also perfect for adding pockets. So the other side of this, I am creating a pocket page. All you need is a other strip of paper and just glue it or adhere it using tape on 3 sides, and boom, you have a pocket. I tried to keep going through as I was creating these pages and adding some splatter onto them. I think it just adds a little something extra and something special to the pages, so I tried to do that. Although I definitely did not splatter all of my pages by the end. A lot of the techniques that I'm showing in this video are good for any snap binder, so whether you're using the binder, the snap flipbook, or there's also a 4x6 snap flipbook, these techniques would definitely work for all of those. And I hope it also would just give you ideas for making mini albums in general. I know for me, I love pockets and interactive bits, so that's what I add in all of my different mini albums. Another tip that I do to kind of break down the really plasticky look of all of the page protectors is I like to add ephemera and brads and stickers on top of the page protectors, and that also makes it easier for when I am not adding the photos like as I'm making the album. That way the embellishments will still be there, but I'm not trying to peel them up when it's time to add my photos. This is a quick and easy little flip up page that I'm making, and I try to make it so all of the embellishments or photos wouldn't be seen when it's closed, but you do see it when you open it up. And I tried to kind of have a theme for each of my pocket pages. So one might be the beach, one is watermelon, one is just general summer. With this page, I am adding a sequin shaker page, and I pretty much always add these to my flip books, and they're super quick and easy to do using cherry tape, and you can see they don't come out. I make sure to place the cherry tape completely all the way from one end of the page protector to the other, and then fill it up. You can purchase some little flip pockets. That was what that 4x6 extra piece was, and I'll stick that on one of my pages. And now I'm making another flip up page using one of the 6x8 pages. I found that if you're doing this, actually cut your base page 6x8.5, because once I put it in, it was like there was a 1/2 inch at the bottom that the page just did not reach. So you can see I ended up adding some additional length to the page. But if you just cut your page longer to begin with, then you won't have a problem. And you'll see what I mean with that as I'm show you the finished piece of this page. So you can see that white border I have there. I thought that this stencil was really pretty, and it had the mixed media that I didn't clean off right away, so I decided to throw it in a page protector and have it as a page. It's like a stencil, but it's pretty. I thought it was pretty, and I thought it was cool and something different. I would love to hear your thoughts on adding my stencil to this notebook. It makes it so, yeah, I can't use it as a stencil in my regular stencil rotation, but I thought it created a really cool page. So let me know what you think, or if you would try something like that. It worked well because this was a 6x8 stencil and the whole notebook was 6x8, so I think it worked out. And that is something that I've never done before. This page was one that the page folds out, and now I'm making a page that has a side pocket. So you already saw how I made a page with a pocket at the bottom. This one I'll tuck things into the side of it. I've been asked before if things ever fall out of my pockets, and I really have never had an issue with it. I mean, I think people look at it as like a book or a piece of art where they're not super rough with the albums that I make. So yeah, I haven't had a problem with it. With this page, I glued a little bit extra in the bottom space because that's where the holes that I punch will be, so I didn't want the cards or whatever getting in the way of the holes. And then you can see how I can put some tags in there, and it's all cute. These are all my finished pages, and I have this technique so your flipbook, if you've ever made one, it doesn't turn into a triangle shape. This keeps the spine of the flipbook the same width as the rest of it. And I just take some cherry foam tape and tape along the edge that has the holes punched in it and just keep room for the holes. And that keeps everything very nicely spaced. So here's them all done, and I don't take the back side of the foam off. I don't think there's really a reason to. So I just put them in like this. And then you can also create a backing for your spine, which is what I'm doing now, just so it looks a little bit nicer and you can kind of see what the theme of your book is by the spine. I just took a piece of cardstock and you can see how I'm fitting it here. I believe this is 8.5 inches tall, and then my book ended up being 1.25 inches thick, so that's how wide I made the spine part, and then I made sure to have the side parts long enough to cover the holes. So if you do something like this, I would check the measurements on your binder because it might be smaller or thicker. So just measure it before you cut it. And I do find it's pretty forgiving. I don't worry about it being super precise with these measurements. That is something that I really enjoy with the flipbooks, is I don't have to be precise and it's just kind of fun. I decided to have some charms. This cherry box included some really cool beads that I was pretty excited about including. So I wanted to make some beaded dangles going down the spine of this album. I used the crocodile to put this eyelet in there just to help keep all of these beads in place. I'm stringing these on some waxed cotton thread and just doing some triple knots to hold all the beads on. And one of the strands I have a strand of 3, the other one I'm doing 5, and then I'm doing 1. I think the even numbers look a little nicer, so I made sure to have a range of them. And then I also grabbed some charms from Doodlebug to stick on here as well. And then once I got them all to the length that I liked, I did a knot and pulled it tight. I wanted to glue this. I don't know that I necessarily had to, but just to make sure it wouldn't pull around, I added a little bit of glue on it. And then to put the rest of the book together, I kind of curved these metal parts to get them to swerve into the rest of my cover and put it all back together. So that's the bulk of making this book. And the cherry box, this is the summer cherry box, is shipping now. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. With these boxes, once they're gone, they're gone. So we will not restock these. But even if you end up missing this cherry box, subscribe so that you're ready for the next one. We ship these out once a quarter, so we have a summer, fall, winter, and spring box, and they are $50, and that does include the shipping. So I think they're a great deal. I try to fit a bunch in the cherry box. I think of them as what I feel inspired to create with, so hopefully that inspires you guys as well. And I hope you got some ideas from this flip book. Like I said, I really like making these. I think this one turned out so fun. I can't wait to add photos in here. It's just screams summer. If you got the cherry box and are working with it, I would love to see what you're making, so make sure to tag us. And also use our hashtag, which is hashtag the cherry box. That way we can see it and we can share it, because I know if everybody makes a flip book, it's all going to be completely different, and I would love to see how yours is. Thanks for watching and happy summer!